Well, sorry, did I spoil that? Sorry. Okay, so I guess Edoardo, you are the first. So please come up and give a hand to Edo.
I don't know, I don't think I need the mic.
It's for the video.
Okay, all right. Then can I have a pointer as well?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Doesn't really work.
Sorry, that's the other screen. So my problem is one is not displayed in there.
That here it works.
So, yeah. I can see that here. Hold on a second. Yeah.
Okay, I can just say while he's doing that we're going to take this on a video, and in case you don't want them put on our homepage, you just tell us, so you'll have a chance to see them and say yes or no.
Okay, so it does work. Perfect. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, I think I know most of the faces in the audience, but for those of you who don't, I'm Edoardo. I'm Italian and I work for Astel, who's the biggest Danish utility, and I'm a data scientist there. But that's like my day job. And in my spare time, which I don't have a lot of lately, I have developed together with two friends a startup that is called SISMA. And that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about today. So of course I start with the usual kind of description about what's going on in our energy system, but this crowd knows what's going on, right? But maybe you're not that familiar with the concept of what a lot of energy consultants call the 3D revolution. Our energy system is becoming decarbonized, digitalized, and decentralized. And we're basically focusing on the third of the two Ds. So the biggest utilities in Europe and some of the smallest ones as well are today moving in a space that they call energy as a service. I know Simon knows about the concept. But basically what this concept entails is they're taking over the energy needs for big industrial consumers. So they go in their plants and they say, we can take over all of your energy flows, we can produce whatever energy you need, we build plants, we operate them for you, you just pay us a fixed fee. And we basically deliver the service for you. So what's going to happen in the future is there's going to be a lot more of these distributed, small-scale energy projects that are dedicated to different sites. But it turns out that sizing up a plant like this and doing a feasibility study for a distributed energy project is actually not that easy. You have a complicated problem with a lot of different data sources that are located in different places. And it's interconnected, meaning that if you decide this is the size of solar panels that you put on the roof, then that influences the optimal size of your battery. If you decide that you want to do demand side management, that changes the optimal size of the battery. There's a lot of interconnected links. And today, these kinds of studies are done in Excel. And Excel spreadsheets have this awful tendency of becoming massive and starting to crash just when you need them to be very, very fast. So that is creating today basically a bottleneck in this sales process for the biggest utility. So that's where we come in. At SISMA, we have developed an optimization engine which allows business analysts to basically study the effect of operating in all of the energy markets at the same time. So we're optimizing assets to operate on all the 3 or 4 electricity markets, on the gas market, on district heating, everything at the same time, while basically minimizing CO2 emissions and maximizing profits that you can deliver from this project. So we actually allow the user to explore the trade-off that there exists between saving more CO2 and actually making more money when you deliver these kinds of projects. So as a result of that, we're able to streamline the calculations, make the process consistent, fast, and we do scenario analysis which allows you to have a deeper understanding of the uncertainty that is related to your project. Meaning, what happens if this bit of the regulation changes? What happens if we add a carbon tax? What happens to my business case if all of a sudden frequency regulation is done in a different way in the market where I'm at? So that's all stuff that we study. But we don't stop there. So our vision is to become the one-stop shop in the process of selling distributed energy. So in addition to the sizing engine, which is the brain, if you want, we also give a data management system, which allows you to put all of your project-related data in the same place and store it consistently, and maybe do some fancy machine learning on it, you never know. And then also a decision support system, so that's the output side, which allows you to show your calculation and deliver it to your management team quickly and effectively. We have calculated that we should be able to improve the business case for utilities that are delivering distributed energy by around 5%. We should be able to allow deeper risk assessment and therefore better decision making. If we understand that our project is mostly relying on a very high price per frequency regulation, and if that changes then we're screwed, it's important to do that kind of sensitivity analysis. We will cut time to market by 50 to 80% because we make the calculation faster and we are able to deliver more projects. We also give the possibility of exploiting this trade-off between saving emissions and actually delivering more profit. And of course we have the data management system. So these are all the reasons why our clients should prefer us to their current solution. And how we plan to make money is by selling this software essentially with fixed licenses and premium packages and consultancy services. And what we try to do is basically get in now before the smaller utilities start entering this project, so the space of energy as a service, so we can allow them to use our software without having to develop all this knowledge and all this technology in-house. And if we manage to enter the market now, hopefully we'll be at the base of the hockey stick and kind of ride it along. So these are our potential customers. It's all the big utilities in Europe and some technology developers as well. I know Vestas is looking into hybrid power systems, which we could do a lot of to help. I know Vestas is not the only one. You also have BWSC and other major technology developers. And we believe we can add values for them because they know a lot about the technology, but they don't know a lot about energy markets, which is the issue. And also, of course, all the utilities plus some of the smaller ones. So this is our timeline, so that's our plan. We are right now in a partnership with Ørsted. I have a slide of that on that in the next one. And we soon will have to sort of focus on, because we are ending our sort of development and finishing our prototype around here. We're around 95% ready. And the next step is basically marketing, building a website, getting hopefully some seed investment. So we're working on that at the minute. We actually have a pitch here on Tuesday for the Discovery Day, so I think you should join if you want to listen more about this. This is us. So that's myself, I'm the CEO. Then we have Fabio, who's the genius sitting in the dark room drinking lots of coffee and coding all the time. And this is Alberto, who's the crazy guy that should have been presenting today because he's much better than me at doing this. And essentially we started this to have fun, to learn about how to make a startup, to learn about product development, learn about how the whole world of startups works. And so far it's been a great journey. It's a lot of work, but we have a weird definition of fun. We like to spend our evenings and our weekends in front of our computers. So yeah, we've had a lot of that, and we probably have more if this thing continues. Yeah, so that's the partnership we're having at Ørsted. Basically, they obviously have this problem, and they are developing this technology internally, and we're helping them to develop that. He's a colleague of mine and the main future user of the SISMA software. He's the one that is basically doing all this calculation every week for 5-10 projects. And he is expecting us to help him basically, one, get a better solution, and B, having a deeper understanding of the uncertainty that is related to these business cases. And I think that's it. If you have any questions, please. Thank you. No questions? Yeah, we have one. Simon?
Yeah, no comment and a question, but it kind of, I think it's a great idea. It shows that.
Yeah, thanks for a good presentation. It's a really cool project, I think. Good idea. And my comment, rather than the question, is maybe that this shows that when you're in university, you always think. I was kind of impressed by the slide with all the logos of the energy companies. And when you're a student, you always think, oh, these guys, they got it all figured out. They're the ones that have the big models and everything's perfect. But you spotted a place here where that is not the case, and where you, with a student background, can actually create something that the companies don't have today, and then try to sell it to them. So congrats on that.
There's nothing to congratulate on yet. We haven't actually made €1, so but thank you. I think that's one of the experiences that I had was when I started working was I realized that actually nobody has everything figured out. There's a lot of stuff that we can do as engineers, as nerds, to actually take them and basically allow these big companies to make better decisions. So that's what we're trying to do, and I think there's a lot more that can be done. Mari?
I just wanted to know whether the feasibility course was an inspiration for you.
Yeah, of course it was. There was probably the most interesting, or the one that links the most to SISMA was actually the energy system modeling and optimization, blah, blah, blah. Because the smart part of the whole thing is basically a stochastic optimization engine. So it's the nerdy part that is really interesting. But obviously, the output of that is a feasibility study with uncertainty included. So of course, it's super important to know how a feasibility study looks and how it should be developed. And by the way, we have a lot of ideas for potential thesis because we need free work. So yes, so we'll set up a meeting for sure. Anyone else? Yes, Martin?
What's your best case scenario? What's the best case scenario for the development of this model?
Awesome. Yeah, so regarding the technical bit or regarding the whole startup thing or?
So who is your best customer?
My best customer, yeah. So we have essentially three slices, you can say. You have the big utility who's probably already doing something regarding this. They probably are already developing their solution. So that's a tough one to basically enter because they want to have control on what they're doing. So we're using Oster to understand what they actually care about. But I think those big utilities are probably very tough to convince to buy this, and then the customer acquisition time is massive, right? Or where we hope to come in is in the other two segments, which is the smaller utilities. Think of the AV and CSNVE and all those more local, smaller scale utilities, which will want to get in the space because nobody's making money today on the kilowatt hours. None of the people that are selling energy contracts actually are having margins because the competition is crazy, so everyone is trying to move into something more advanced, which is energy services. So if we manage to get to these guys before they start doing it, then that's where we hope to get the growth. And then the last bit is the technology developers. Because there's not so many, we don't have anyone from Vestas in the audience, that's a shame, but I think there's not so many of them that are that familiar with all the different power markets that are out there and what you can do and how you can optimize your plant to make the most amount of money in the power markets. So that's another one where we hope to get traction. But really, all we need at the minute is funding. So we're applying to a lot of the accelerators to try and get some funding to basically develop the marketing side, develop a user interface. There's a lot of stuff, which the technical side of things is kind of done. Now starts the difficult bit because I don't know anything about that. So that's going to be fun and lots of things to learn there. So, yeah.
Okay.